What's up, guys? So, a few weeks ago, I helped coach men's physique category for an upcoming competition for UNBA. It's a natural bodybuilding league. And yeah, so I had three guys working with me that day. The guy on the left, his name's Andre. The guy on the right, that's Javier. It was their first time getting ready for a competition, so they're completely new to the game. And then the other guy is not on screen right now, Asian guy Mike. I've actually competed with him a couple times, so he's a little more seasoned. So I'm just showing some basic poses here. For UNBA, when you get on stage, you do a T-walk, so that means you walk down the center of the stage, go to the left, pose, right, pose, back to center stage, pose again, and then exit. So I'm showing the basics here. Emphasizing the fact that you keep your carriage up high, smile the whole time, show the judges that you're having a good time. You know, that's really important. And then got my last, so I'm like center stage here basically, doing my front pose, back pose, and then watch what I do here as I wave. I'm flexing the obliques there. Every transition is an opportunity to flex and to show the judges what you've got. So you're sneaking in these little poses in between. And here I'm showing a lot of people in between the transitions here just kind of like lose themselves. They stop smiling, they're looking down at the ground, they're nervous, they're in their head. The idea is to stay in it the whole time. You are on stage, you are putting on a show. So here's Andre doing his T-walk. Doing good, smiling. Of course, these guys are practicing in front of a mirror. A little easier than when you're on stage and you've got no mirror. You're just looking into bright lights and an audience. All right, back to center. And then watch what he does here when he rotates to the back. See that little hoppity hop? That's some kind of awkward nerves going on. So yeah, I point that out right here because that doesn't work. No bueno. And this is Javier. These guys were really great to work with. Good energy. Just good guys all around, so. Hitting the side poses. Going to the other side. Side pose on the other side of the stage. Well, I was telling him his shoulders tend to be uneven. One shoulder's higher than the other when he's doing his side pose, so you got to really be careful for that. Nice lat spread. And then the wave, flex and obliques, and off the stage. And here's Mike. So you can notice the difference right away. This guy has experience. He's done it a few times. Has his poses down. Confident. That's what you're aiming for. Side pose. Now he chose to do two poses on each side, which is totally fine. That's part of his routine. Everybody's going to have a slightly unique, variated, different routine based on their strengths. Back to center. Flash that back. See, his right side's a little high, the shoulder there. So, got to work with him on that. And the front pose. Perfect. Now I noticed when he went stage left, or as you're watching on the screen when he went to the right, as he was doing his two poses, it was a little awkward. So that's what I'm going over. So watch. He goes the side pose, and then he rotates all the way around, and then does side pose the other side. So basically he's rotating more than 180 degrees in order to, when he's doing one side pose, he's kind of angled out towards the audience, right? And then rotates more than 180 degrees to try to get around and do a side pose while cheating out to the audience. Again, that's a big turn to have to make and make it look graceful and easy. So I'm trying to come up with the simplest solution here to fix that. So the obvious solution to me here was to just turn through the front. How much easier is that? How much cleaner and crisp of a movement is that? Right? See that? Especially when you're nervous, it's you have so much more potential to trip, to fall, to be unsteady, to lose your balance. So if you can negate that by choosing a very simple, clean movement, it's much better to go with that as you're gaining experience. And remember what I said, every transition is an opportunity to show muscle, to show your body. So you're going to see here I came up with a transition that does exactly that right here. See? Flexing both arms and showing the striations in the center chest in the transition. All right, so just to recap what we went over, I started out talking about the T-walk. That's a requisite for UNBA, IPE. Those are natural bodybuilding leagues. And so when you're on stage, you're basically going to be walking a T, starting at the bottom, striking a pose, walk to the center, downstage, strike a pose, walk to the left or right, strike a pose, walk to the other side, strike a pose, back to center, strike a pose, and then you can exit. And then I talked about the fact that you need to always be on, always be confident, carry yourself high, smile. Judges want to see you having a good time up there. It doesn't matter if you're depleted, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're in pain because some of those poses don't feel good. But you got to be looking like you're having a good time the whole time, no matter what. And that means walking from pose to pose as well. Don't want to lose it while you're in transition. Okay, so throughout this whole process, the mirror is going to be your good friend. You want to use the mirror. That way you can see if one shoulder is higher than the other, or if when you think you're flexing really hard, it's not translating and you can't really tell in the mirror. The only way that you can know that is if you see yourself and in real time. Later on, as you get better and you start to feel more confident in your poses, then you can take the mirror away. Then I suggest using a video camera so you can at least watch the footage later and then give yourself notes or have somebody else there to watch you and give you feedback. The other thing I talked about is flexing within transition. So that means in between your posing spots, like for example when you're leaving stage and you're waving goodbye, that's an opportunity to flex your abs, your obliques, and then that also means that when you're in one spot and you're transitioning from one pose to another. So like my buddy Mike, he did one side pose and then switched to another side pose. That was an opportunity for him to flex and show some tricep muscles and then a little bit of the inner chest in between those. Even though that's not a requisite pose, that's something you can sneak in there and show the judges more of your physique. And then the other thing I talked about is how you want to simplify. So again, Mike was doing a turn that was greater than 180 degrees. There was no real function for it. It wasn't necessary. So I just told him to turn the other way, which ended up being less than 180 degrees. And we were also able to work in the tricep and the chest flex in the transition. So it was simpler, it was cleaner. When you're nervous, when you're tired, you're less likely to make mistakes with stuff that's just simpler all around. So I actually spent a good deal of time with these guys. We went over a lot of stuff. So I decided, instead of showing it all in one long vlog, to split it up into smaller segments and kind of make a series out of it. So I got more to come. I'll be sending it out soon. Check back. I hope you guys find this useful. If you're interested in competing, I hope this gives you kind of an idea of what to expect and what the training process is like. All right, see you guys.